All right. Man, I'm still letting people in through meetup. So I'll be doing that in the background. But in the meantime, I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to start off by saying Happy New Year. Great to see all of y'all. A lot of people did not make it to 2022, as we know. So it's definitely a blessing for us to all be here, have an opportunity to continue to level up, live life, et cetera, et cetera. I also want to thank our special guest, Nekaya Carter, for being here to present this information. I want to thank Robert Biggs, aka Biggs, who connected us to be able to make this happen. Definitely appreciate that. And for everybody who's new here, my name is Danny Carter. I'm a co-founder of Buy Back the Block LA. And if you've never heard of us, we are a group that was founded after our brother Nipsey Hussle passed away. We just felt like we needed to do something. We needed to respond. And, you know, marching and all that stuff is cool, but getting together and actually trying to get some things done as a community, doing things together as a community, partnering, et cetera, that's what really was important, and that's really what counts. So we formed the group. We started educating people about how to buy real estate, how to invest into properties out of state, how to flip properties, how to manage rentals, how to have Section 8 rentals. We've had some of the best people in cryptocurrency be here. We've had just many people who have been skilled. We've had mobile notary people be here. We had a couple who was investing in mobile homes. They were here and presenting. And if you miss any of those, you know, episodes or meetups, you can definitely find them on our YouTube. So I just want to drag this over really quick and put this in the chat. URL for our YouTube is not customized yet, but as you can see, you're still seeing my screen. This is our YouTube. Every one of our meetups is here in archives for you. And people go back all the time. I mean, you can still find recent comments for some of these, and people are like, wow, I'm watching this for the third time, and you know, the information is really helping me. So that's really what it's about. And those are the comments that keep us going and keep things motivated around here. I'm gonna drop this in the chat really quick because I want you guys to be able to see. Okay, my bag. Wow. LA YouTube. Okay, so go ahead and please subscribe to the channel, because that way, if you miss a meetup, you'll always be able to go back and get what you got to get from there. Also, what we did was we decided that, you might have heard somebody mention it earlier, that we were going to practice one of the things that we learned from Dr. Claude Anderson, which was group economics, right? And if you're not familiar with group economics, what that basically means is coming together as a community and pooling our resources, you know, not trying to be that guy or that girl anymore, and figuring out how we can become that group together, right? Because we already know that we have Michael Jordans and LeBrons and the yada yadas, Serena Williams of the world. We have these individuals who are able to do well, but as a community, we're still struggling. So we're trying to figure out how we can do that, and group economics is definitely the way, because we're stronger together. So what we decided to do was pool our resources together, which is what we did. Started investing together in 2020, and we had 2 projects that we did. Sorry, please, I'm still admitting people, so if I sound a little distracted, that's what's going on. But we had 2 projects that we did, and I want to pull one of them up for you. So our first project was out of state in Indianapolis, and the reason why we chose that location was because that's a market that I invest in. I've been there since 2016, and I was pretty familiar with, you know, how things work there, so I figured it would be okay, you know, a good landing spot for us. Also, we didn't have the most money in the world, right? Because we're all working people, so we pulled all our money in the pot, and we had about $51,000, so that was enough for us to be able to go and get a loan on a property. And this property here is one that we bought. This property is on a street called Roche, and as you can see, it was pretty rough when we got it. You know, nothing really done. Old kitchen. Let's see if I can expand this a tad bit. And let me know, you can unmute and tell me if you can't see any of this stuff, okay? But you know, the basement was disgusting. I mean, just crazy stuff going on with this property. And we went ahead and rehabbed this property, and really proud of the way that it came out. So I'll jump to those pictures right now because I don't want to take up too much time. So when we finished it, this was our interior. It's a new kitchen. And this is what we did together as a community. So anything that you heard about, oh man, you know, this, that, the third, and people scamming, this, that, yeah, that we all know that that exists in every community, not just ours. But this is what happens when we work together, right? It can definitely work. We went out of state together. We rehabbed this property together, and it came out beautiful, in my opinion, you know, and it was a great entry-level home for a family that, you know, was buying their first property. They got a good piece of property, and we put a lot of love and attention into it, and, you know, we're proud of that. So when you heard somebody ask earlier about the investment group, were we going to start up another one? The answer is yes, we will be starting up another one. 2021 was a tricky year. You know, there were issues with materials, there were issues with labor, and I had a hard time finding good deals that I felt okay about putting the group into. I'm really careful about the community's money because, you know, obviously we got a history of just people kind of doing stuff that they shouldn't do. So I always want this to be transparent. I always want to protect the community's money like it's my own. And some of the deals that I saw, they were okay, but they weren't great. So we kind of sat out 2021. It was a weird year, but I came into 2022 fully determined to be able to pick the pace back up, and that's what we're going to do. And we have a property right now. The gentleman is supposed to be going to court tomorrow, actually, to get the court order to be able to sell it because it's inside of a trust. Well, it's inside of a guardianship situation, so he has to get the court to sign off. And when he does, we'll be off and rolling on our third project. The final thing that I'd like to address, well, actually, two more things. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. Buy Back the Block LA is our handle. Make sure you follow us there, that we post all of our flyers there and any content that's relevant to what we're doing. The last thing I want to address is I've been learning, because, you know, I always like to share what I'm learning with the group. I mean, you guys know that about me, those of you who've been around. So I've been learning options trading for probably about 1.5, 2 years now, probably since the beginning of the pandemic. And I kind of tried my hand at day trading, and I was okay at it. I made some good money on AMC and stuff like that. But I realized that for me personally, the best thing that I've been able to come across has been the Come Up series. And if you're not familiar, I'm going to pull it up right now. The Come Up series is on YouTube, and Mark Monroe and his partner Jolene are teaching the Black community about finance completely for free. They're teaching us how to invest into long-term options. These are option contracts that expire 3 years from now. Not stuff where you're day trading sitting in front of your computer every day. And if some of this is what I'm saying is brand new information, or you never heard of an option contract or whatever the case is, just stick with me. We'll get to it. But they're teaching us how to be able to invest, and they're doing it for free. And Mark, you know, the word on the street is that Mark is a millionaire a couple hundred times over, and he's younger than me, right? So the man clearly knows what he's doing, and they're giving it all away. So when you come here, please go to YouTube, please go to the Come Up series, please subscribe, because this can help you. I mean, he has a strategy called the rolling fours that you'll get to it eventually. And it just shows you how you can walk off. You can literally create walk away money to where you don't have to be at your job 5 years from now. And some of you guys might be like, man, 5 years is a long time. Well, guess what? 5 years is going to go by whether you like it or not. So why not be financially free, or at least halfway, quarter way, 75% of the way there after these 5 years elapse, right? And the process is not very complicated. If you go into the Come Up series, I'm gonna show you this, and then we'll get on to today's presentation.
Oh.
Go to the playlist. I want you to start with this one here that says the starter pack. There's 14 videos in this. I did it myself and went through all 14. Some are longer than others, and I just did one per day. You know, I never try to get two in because it's a lot of information, but get somewhere where you can get still for a minute and soak up the game. And I'm telling you, like what he's teaching us right now, I'm just trying to give it to as many people as I can because I know it's revolutionary, and I know that we're lucky to be getting these lessons from him. There's this here called Supplemental Sundays. This started when Mark and Jolene went on vacation at the end of last year. The reason why
program was a good.
I'm sorry, Supplemental Sundays is important is because look at the title of this video. Understanding economics, understanding basic economics. And this is all about understanding how basic economics works and how it affects the market, what effect it has on the market, and where you can go to read about the basic economic developments that are happening every day. So then that way you can know what companies to invest in. This episode here is teaching us how to read financial reports. So if you hear, you know, so in the stock market, oh, this company had an annual report. They're teaching you exactly how to read it line by line and what everything means. I don't know about y'all, but I never got any of this in school. None of this. And I've actually made money on this strategy. One of the option contracts I bought is in a company or ETF called SMH. And that position is up 150% right now. And I thank Mark and Jolene for it. I learned everything about that from them. So, like I said, I'm just trying to share as much as I can with you because I want to see all of y'all level up and get financially free and be able to set new tempo for your families, your children, your children's children. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to relinquish the floor to our wonderful special guest. Nekaya, you in here?
I'm in here.
All right, cool. So let me stop sharing.
Okay. I was helping you let people in. I hope that was cool.
Oh man, I appreciate it. I was wondering, I was like, man, they disappeared on. I hope they ain't leave, but I appreciate it.
No, I got you.
Cool. So it's all yours from here.
Okay, perfect. Can everybody see me, hear me? We good?
Yep.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Nekaya Carter, and I appreciate all 140 of y'all for coming in here. Happy New Year. Happy 2022, right? A little bit about me before I get started. I am a real estate broker. All right. I've been a real estate broker for a little bit over 15 years now. I am a mother, right? I have three, 24, 17, and 13. I am from Long Beach. I got any Long Beach people in here? I know this LA, but I'm from Long Beach. But I did spend, my dad lived in LA, so I did spend some time in LA, in the Ladera area. What else? I went to UC Berkeley. So go Bears for any Cal people out there. And I got my master's degree in sport management. So I've sold pretty much everything from like a ticket to a Clippers game all the way up to a duplex or somebody's home. All right. So sales experience is there. I have a team. Some of my team members are on here, but I have a team of all Black women. Not intentional, but that's what happens. So I'm okay with it. So I have 8 young hustling women that work underneath me. All right. So today, because there's a lot of information in such a short amount of time. All right. So I want to make sure that we get to all of it. So today I'm going to talk to you about, every month I do a workshop called How to Buy a Duplex as a First-Time Home Buyer. Okay. So there's a couple of tricks in it, a couple strategies that me and my partners, my lending partners actually, help clients to actually achieve buying the actual income property. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is our credit, right? So we want to get our credit mortgage ready. Okay. So what that means is I'm going to talk about some things you should do, and I'm going to talk about some things you should not do. All right. So let's start with what you should do. So let's go with monitoring your credit report annually. All right. So we want to make sure that you monitor your credit report. A good website for that is annualcreditreport.com. All right. That's annualcreditreport.com. Some of my team members should be helping with the notes. They should be putting it in the chat. So hopefully it's in the chat, but it's annualcreditreport.com. There, and you used to be able to get your reports from all 3 bureaus. So that's TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And they're for free. So it's not the score, it's just your actual report. Okay, there it, look at Daphne. She got it in there for you. I love my team. But during the pandemic, they allowed you to get the report every week for free. So it's still going on. So every week you have the opportunity to monitor your credit. All right. So you make sure you take advantage of that. You want to pay everything on time. All right. No matter if you have to get an extension, whatever you need to do to call them, make sure that payment is on time. Even if you pay it by the 29th day, technically you'll get a late fee, but it's still on time. All right. So make sure you pay your bills on time. All right. The next thing I want to say is that you can buy a house and qualify at 580. You can, it's possible. All right. So you don't have to have an 800 score. It's great if you do, but the minimum qualification for FHA loan is 580. All right. But the goal of the credit score should be 680, because that way you get a lower interest rate. You'll be eligible for down payment assistance, so on and so forth. So you want to strive for the 680, but you are eligible at 580. Okay. Let me tell you just a couple of things you should not do. So we want to buy our house before we buy our car. Right. So a lot of people go out and get this high car payment, right? The lease payment, and it's $500, $600, $700 a month. That's going to factor and take away from your purchasing power. All right. So we want to make sure that if your goal is really home ownership, I'm not saying don't get a car, because we live in California, but I'm saying let's just kind of be moderate, or, let's just keep that in mind when you're buying the car. All right. Don't pay off your debt by yourself. So talk to a licensed real estate or mortgage professional before you just start paying off things yourself. Because some of that stuff can be older. You don't even need to pay it off, right? If the underwriter's not going to look at it, we don't care about it. You can leave it, okay? Third thing I want to say is just don't close those revolving accounts, okay? Leave that credit there available. Because basically what they're doing is monitoring kind of like your discipline. Like, you know what? She has a credit card. She paid it off. She got $3,000 she could spend, and she's not even touching it, right? So kind of just leave that open. I would use it sometimes, maybe every 3 to 6 months, but just pay it all off at the end of the month. All right. So those are kind of just some kind of mortgage ready credit tips, kind of some do's, don'ts I kind of want to throw out there.
But I know how to read. But I know how to read figures.
Oh, you got it. Okay, you got it. Look at that.
I got you. We got each other tonight.
There we go. That's that Carter thing going on. I understand. All right, so those are the credit, kind of just that was super quick, but it's so many things I want to get to. But any just questions just about just a couple of credit tips I did share. And I can't see the chat, but
I tell you what, go ahead and roll through it, and then we'll keep track. Me and your team will keep track of everything in the chat, and we'll hit it on the Q&A on the backside.
Okay, cool. That works too. All right, perfect. So that's really just the mortgage ready credit tips I want to kind of mention. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to qualifying and the down payment assistance. Okay. So to qualify, it's a makeup of 4 things. It's your income, it's your credit score, it's your debt, and it's your savings. So those 4 things matter. Okay. So as far as income, you have to be 2 years in the same industry. So you don't necessarily have to be 2 years at the same job, but it has to link and be in the same industry. Right. So if you used to be a principal at a school and then you switch to become a principal at another school, that's fine. You're in the same industry. Right. So that's okay. I see that question. Self-employed is fine too. We just need to see 2 years of however you keep track of your business. So I don't know if you have like a P&L that you use or whatever you use. Just it might be 1 year for self-employed actually. Guess it depends on how much you put down. But that's a whole nother topic, right? But income is definitely key. So you have to have income. And temporary income does not count. This year I've had so many, unemployment don't count. Don't give me that 1099. PPP doesn't count. EDD, all of them. EIDL doesn't count, okay? No temporary disability either. But child support does count as long as your child is under 15. So if child is under 15 when you close, we can count that child support that you get every month. And that goes the other way around too. If you have child support that you pay, we're going to deduct it. Okay. What else? Pensions. Those are fine. Foster child income is fine. IHSS is fine. Social Security is fine. Anything permanent is okay and will be counted, as far as your income. All right, so I just want to make that clear. Credit score already mentioned, you can qualify at 580 for this particular down payment assistance program. The goal is 680. All right, you can qualify for it for 640, but the goal is 680. And I'm gonna tell you why in a second. Your debt. So when I say your debt, it's the monthly transaction, right? So the most important thing is going to be that monthly mortgage payment. What payment are you most comfortable with? All right, so if you're like, you know what, I'm buying a duplex, one's a 2-bedroom, one's a 1-bedroom, but still, I know I'm gonna be responsible for it. I want to make sure I can cover it. I don't want it to go over 3,500. Perfect. I'm gonna keep you right there, right at the 3,500, and we're not gonna see properties over that. Okay. But as far as the actual debt, we have to make sure it's the monthly debt that's reported on your credit report. So that'll be your car note. That'll be any student loans. If the student loans are deferred, we're going to take 0.5% off the top, no matter what. It's a 30-year loan. They're going to know that your student loans are due. So some type of payment has to be accounted for, even if it isn't deferment. Okay. What else is on the credit cards? Just the minimum payment due. So if your credit cards are there and you give them $150, I want to know what the minimum is. Just if it's $25, I'm only going to hit you for the 25. All right. What else? Any type of personal loan. Some people will take out personal loans. So we'll do that as well. So basically only things on your credit. So not your cell phone, not your cable bill, not your regular bills, not your rent, just whatever is reporting on your credit report. Okay. Savings. I suggest, everyone always says, well, how much money do you need to buy a house? Right. So I would suggest, it always depends on the purchase price, but I tell people 10 to 12,000 at least. Right. So that should be your market. If you're buying a duplex though, it should be a little higher because you need to prepare for a rainy day. Right. Tenants kind of do whatever they're going to do. You need to be prepared to pay your own mortgage if it's only you for a couple of months in there. All right. So I'll probably ballpark it maybe at 20 grand if you actually want to really, buy a duplex. And you may need to do some repairs to it and improvements to it, so on and so forth. Okay. When you're going FHA, which you want to do when you are buying a duplex, okay, especially for this down payment assistance program, it needs to be owner occupied, which means that needs to be your primary residence. At least that's what it needs to be. If you you need to tell us that you're going to live there. Okay. If you get what I mean. All right. So it needs to be owner occupied. So the way you qualify for a duplex, right? So the second unit, we're going to take 75% of that rental income. So what that means is, let's say the 2-unit, one of them written for $2,000, right? And the other one is vacant, but that's the one you're going to live in. Okay. So we're going to take that extra 75% of 2,000 is 1,500. So we're going to take that $1,500 and add it to your income, because technically it's your income because you own it and you're the landlord, right? So that helps you qualify for more. All right. So that's kind of how that works to get you to be able to qualify for more when you're actually buying an actual duplex. All right. So there's 2 programs for down payment assistance. So with this particular program, it does apply for 1 to 4 units. All right. So a duplex is in there because we're talking about 2 units today. So the platinum program, again, 640 is the minimum credit score. But we want to get you to 680. Why? Because they allow you to go up to 50% of your income. So your DTI, debt to income ratio, can be higher if your credit score is higher. If it's 640 to 680, it's going to be 45%. If it's 680 or higher, you go up to 50%, which means you get more purchasing power. All right. So that's kind of how that works. With this program, there's no income limit, but there is a max loan limit. All right. So the purchase price can exceed $670,000. Right. I know we're in LA County. You might be like, can I really get a duplex for that amount? And you can. I have a client now. She's an escrow, 550, single woman with a daughter, single mother, and she's buying her first property, and it's a duplex.
Say it again. Say it again. I don't think they heard it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's possible. My other client, single man, 500,000 even, duplex in LA. All right. So with a tenant in the back that's paying the majority of his mortgage. All right. So it's happening. It's happening and it's possible. And those are in the 5s, right? So they got to do a little work when they get in there. But now it actually just increased. So now we can go up to 670 and still get you some free money for this. All right. Another thing about this program, if you're in certain industries, if you're in education, if you are in medical, if you're a firefighter, police, anything service, the grant is forgiven immediately. As soon as we sign, escrow closes, that's free money. Everybody else, 3 years, but 3 years is not a long time to get free money, right? But if you're in those particular industries, free money as soon as you, as soon as you're the owner. So as soon as I hand you the keys, free money, right? The only thing about the down payment assistance programs is that the interest rate is dictated by the program. All right. And it also depends on how much assistance you get. So like right now, Gsfa, which is the name of the program, the interest rate is 4.375. That's high. You can get a regular without the program for about 3.3. Right. So it depends on what you really need. Do you need the money, especially if it's going to be free? And you're willing to pay a little bit more every month, or you're like, you know what, I'll use my own money, I'll get a gift, I'll figure it out, and I'll go ahead and pay the lower monthly payment. It all depends on what you need. Like my client had that situation and she decided, you know what, I want the money. I'll go ahead and pay the extra because I need this extra money. I need this 10 grand to go ahead and fix up the house. So it all depends on kind of what you want, but you have options. All right, and we can present you with those. So that's pretty much just the qualification in a nutshell. Like again, I normally do this whole thing in 2 hours. And the down payment assistance program, kind of in a nutshell as well. The last thing I'm gonna touch on, then I'll hit all the questions all at the same time. I want to talk about just a lot of people say I want to own a duplex, but I want to talk about the pros and cons of owning a property. Okay, let's start with the cons. So number one, tenant delays. We just had a pandemic. All right. A lot of people didn't pay their rent. They couldn't pay their rent. Right. So where did that leave the owners of the property? Right now they're getting, in the beginning, they didn't know. Now, of course, they're offering programs and stuff for them. But in the beginning, they had to find a way to pay their mortgages. Right. So you can have tenant delays. I doubt, hopefully pandemic won't hit again. But even so, let's say the tenant gets a 30-day notice. It's going to be, it might be a month before you kind of, fill the place again with a new renter, because you have to screen them, check their credit, so on and so forth, right? So just know it may be some tenant delays in that, all right? Number two, condition of the property. You just kind of never know what people are going to do. They can tell you a great story, you can let them in, right? And you just kind of don't know, right? So that could be a con, all right? I would say the last one is, to me, it's a pro and a con, but I'm gonna leave it on the con side, is that it's a responsibility now. Like you're a property owner. This is pretty much like your business, right? So if someone's sink breaks or overflows at 3 o'clock in the morning, they calling you because that's your responsibility, right? So you just you're gonna have to have a certain level and a certain mindset to really own an income property. Granted, you got to do that to your own property as well. The responsibility of another is like kind of becoming a parent almost, right? It's like that's yours and you're responsible for somebody else as well. Okay. Let's talk about the pros. Like I just mentioned, my client, your mortgage is subsidized. All right. I think his payment was something like $3,000. The tenant pays $1,900. He only paying $1,100.
There it is. That's the shortcut right there.
Why not? Mortgage subsidized. Let's do it, right? Tax deduction. Any interest, any fees, any expenses, any repairs, any improvements, you can write it all off. All right? Write it all off. And number three, you own an investment property. You can do whatever you want with it. You can move out, you can rent both, you can raise the rent, you can sell it, you can refinance it, pull some money out, buy another property. You're a property owner and that's an investment property, right? Especially in LA. That's huge, right? So that's pretty much, the landlord pros and cons, the qualification, the down payment assistance program, some pros and cons on credit. And let's just kind of go to the question, or that way I can get everybody's questions answered.
All right. I'll start right at the bottom. So Tyron said he wasn't clear on what the number 2 con was of owning a property.
Oh, the condition. In other words, they can mess up your property. Kind of don't know. You just take that risk. Some people are afraid of, people with Section 8, even though people with Section 8 are people too. But, But that can be for anybody, not just Section 8. You know, you can, you don't know how people live, in other words. For instance, someone I know had an investment property, rented it out for a year, came back, the house was a mess. Holes was in the wall, walls was dirty. It was just a complete mess. And you just kind of got to just deal with that and get it painted and get it cleaned and on to the next tenant. So
yeah. And a certain somebody in this group did lecture about Section 8 rentals last year, so I might need to spin the block again on y'all and do that one again, because I would advise you, if you go this route, use some form of subsidized housing. Now you might say, oh, what is subsidized housing? That just means the government is paying the rent.
Yep, because it's guaranteed.
During COVID, this guy right here, I didn't miss not one payment, not one penny in rent money. Had I been like my other fellow landlords who had, non-subsidized tenants, yeah, that would have been a whole situation. Yeah. Dude, what up? Yeah, it would have been a bad situation. And some of y'all might be like, well, man, I don't want no Section 8, this, that, and third. I'll tell you another quick story. The best tenant that I ever had in my life was a Section 8 tenant. She asked me when she left the house, she said, Danny, can I get my full deposit back if I leave the house clean? I said, yeah, no problem. Man, I came in that house, my eyes was burning from how much Pine Sol she used. You could have performed surgery on the kitchen floor. That's how clean the house was. I gave her her full check back. Now, the tenants I had that almost burned my house down, that poured bleach on my carpets, that kicked holes in my walls, they were my non-subsidized tenants. So you don't have to be afraid of Section 8. What you have to be afraid of is bad people and bad tenants. So screening is what eliminates all of that. When you see a tenant and they come to your house and the kids are running around knocking stuff over, they're dirty, they pull up the car junking, you already know what's getting ready to happen in your place. You already know. So once you learn how to screen tenants properly, which you can learn in this group, then you'll learn how to be able to pick the right tenant who's a Section 8 tenant who wants to take care of your place and wants to have a clean place to live, and then you'll be good. You don't have to worry about chasing your rent.
Hey, Danny.
Or another option is also a property management company.
Hey,
hire
Danny.
them to go ahead and do that for you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Danny, I mean, you're totally right. I mean, I have a bunch of houses here in Texas, a bunch of houses here in Mississippi. And let me let me touch on the Section 8 people. I know in the state of Texas and Mississippi, they have to, my Section 8 tenants, they have to have a zero balance in order to keep that voucher. So your Section 8 tenants are going to do right, because if they don't do right and they don't get that zero balance, they lose their voucher. So that's something new that they're doing here in Texas and in Mississippi. And I think New Orleans also is starting it as well. So you're right. Some of my best tenants are Section 8 people, and they know why. It's because they do not want to lose that assistance.
Yeah, that's a real fact. In Indianapolis, the market that I invest in, to get a voucher, you have to win the Section 8 lottery. You literally have to win the lottery to get the voucher. You can't be on a waiting list. So that's how precious it is. And what that does is it creates a natural system of accountability for you, to where your tenant, they're not going to go but so far, because once you lose that voucher, it's hard to get. So let me look at the next question we have.
I see a couple of them.
Okay.
Talking about NACA. NACA's great. I'm not sure if they cover Duplex, but they should. They just take a long time, but they're great. But in this market to close, they want you to close in 30 days or less, right? But no, NACA is definitely a great program for sure. What's the amount of the grant? The DPA, the program goes to 1% to 4%. It all depends on which amount you want to go with. The more money you get, the higher your interest rate. How much does it cost to get a good property manager? Normally, I think that maybe 10% of the rent, like plus the expenses. Maybe I've seen some. It may be some higher, it may be some lower, but I've heard of 10% for sure.
Yeah, I have my Texas property manager. I pay her. She's been managing my houses for the last 16 years, and I pay her 10%. My
Okay.
property manager in Jackson, Mississippi. I pay her 8% because she just recently started. I just recently hired her. So it varies from 8 to 10% in certain things. Take, for instance, when they find you a new tenant, my property manager here gets 50% of that first month's rent because she went out and found the new tenant. So it varies from state to state, and it varies from different property managers.
Oh,
Okay, I got a
absolutely.
question for you.
Yep.
How do you feel about first-time home buyers self-managing that property instead of hiring a property manager?
It's the person in the mindset, because to me, you're a first-time home buyer regardless, right? And so I guess it would depend if there's a, on your personality, what your experience is, if you managed people before. So I probably would gauge just from that person, kind of asking them questions, working with them, and then kind of suggest from there, like, you know what, here's a property management company, it's 10%. Some people don't like conflict. You got to be okay with all these different things. No, I'm serious. You got to be okay with, with doing that, because that's going to be what it is. So. Let me see here. I'm
You want me to run through them, or you got them?
You can go ahead. I'm looking too, though.
Okay. Question: is it hard to get qualified if you have high student loan debt?
Not really. Well, it depends on your other debt, right? I have a client, she had $400,000 of student loan debt and she closed on her condo, right? It all depends. So if you can if you can put the loans in the IBR, which is the income-based repayment plan, we'll go off whatever payment they give you right there, right? So her payment happened to be 0. So we just used nothing, right? And so it all depends on your payment. So I would probably call income-based, not income-based, the government, the FAFSA, right? And ask them about the income-based repayment program and see whatever payment. We're going to take whatever payment they give you for that. If there's no payment and you keep it deferred, we're going to take 0.5% of the balance, right? So if it's $80,000, it's $400 a month.
Okay. Regina wanted to know, if I purchase a duplex with this program, can I Airbnb the second unit?
Yep. As long as you live there. As long as you quote, y'all see me, as long as y'all live there. I don't know what you do when, just live there. Thank you. Yeah. but no, yes, you can. You can Airbnb. As long as you live there, you can do whatever you want to do with that second property.
Okay. Ms. B said, do you offer, or do you one-on-one home buying counseling?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely. I definitely do. We're actually having a workshop next week. It's January 11th. I'll put my website, carterinvestment.com. You guys can register there. I do that with my team and my partners. So it's about 6 of us. And we have a 90-day program, and you'll work with us one-on-one, and we'll get you those keys.
Okay. And then your team is dropping all your contact details in the chat, right?
Aren't they wonderful? I love them.
Yeah, I need one of my own over here. Let me see. Miss B said that you have to have a quote unquote mature savings account. Example, my friend just opened a savings account with 20K gift from her boyfriend. The savings account is not mature, but she has 20K and wants to get her duplex, first time home buyer. Thanks.
Mature, seasoned is what we use. So seasoned, yeah, I needed seasons for at least 2 months, because all I need is your last 2 months.
This ain't one of those I'm asking for a friend, but you asking for yourself situations.
Oh yeah, I don't know, but that's a good question for everybody though. So basically, there's a lot of people who have money under the mattress or money from wherever, put it in the bank, right? Let's say you drop it now in January, come back to me in I'm gonna say April to be safe, and give me those February and March bank statements. So in other words, I need to see two months of bank statements, but I don't want to see you on that bank statement making the deposit. I just want to see it already in there. Does that make sense?
Okay, so George Ortega said how to buy properties in other states. George, I will do a special lecture on that, and I might get my guy from the Bread Real Estate podcast in here, because he actually created a course strictly on out-of-state buying. And if you guys,
I'm gonna do an out-of-state series too. I'm gonna bring on realtors from other states, realtists from other states as well, to talk about that as well too. So
okay.
yeah. That'll
we
be
might be able
coming
to link up on that.
for sure.
Let me see. Qualify. Can I? Faye Green said, "Can I?" Or Fee Green said, "Can I qualify without showing my taxes, even though I may not qualify for any government assistance?"
So what you gonna show me? Your W-2s? What we showing then? You showing me income? You self-employed?
Fee, if you could unmute, if you still in here, go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, particular stuff like that. I'm gonna just have a couple more questions probably. That's all. Because I don't even ask for your tax return. I just want to see your last 2 years W-2s.
Okay.
I have W-2s, so I would
Okay.
like to qualify for just through my income. I didn't know if that's a possibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What
Thank you.
about seasoned bank statements?
I'm gonna need just 2 months. So like today, I would ask you is January, so I would ask you for November and December, or whenever most bank statements aren't out yet for January, obviously. So if this was today, I would ask for your last 2 W-2s, which means I want 2020 and 2021. That one should be dropping any day now for having already for 2021. I'm gonna ask for your last 2 bank statements, which in my mind will probably be November, December. I'm gonna ask for your last 2 paycheck stubs. All right, so you may have got it 2 weeks, you pay twice a month. Whenever you get paid, just the last 2. Some people
Well,
get
the
paid
reason
once
why I
a
was
month.
asking is
Go ahead.
because what's on my taxes is completely different than what's on my bank statements, because I have 2 businesses that I haven't filed LLCs on.
Oh, you're self-employed.
Exactly. But so I don't file
Okay.
tax on that because they're cash businesses. So even though I know I qualify for a lot of things, if we're going by the bank statements, my taxes say, you don't qualify for this amount. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm a homeowner now, and I've been in my home for a little bit. So I know I can probably still re-qualify for first-time home buyers thing. But even when I refi, I was trying to refi for a 15. And when they went by my tax returns, it say I clear about 35 a year. My bank statements say I do about 90. But you gotta remember the other 60 is cash.
Right. So yeah, it gets tough with the self-employed. I thought the other person said they had W-2 as well, but the self-employed, you may have to do, are you trying to refi? You may have to do, I don't even know if you could do bank statement on a refi though. I don't think
No,
so.
I'm trying to do the first time duplex thing because I've been in my home for almost 10 years now. So I think I kind of.
Okay. Oh, and just a disclaimer, this program is not just for first-time home buyers. That's just kind of like the title that grabs the attention. But this program can be used for refinances and for people who are already homeowners as well. So it will work. Your income though sounds like we have to just probably get together one-on-one and kind of strategize that further. Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Absolutely.
Okay. Tiffany asked, "Do you have a checklist for screening?" Yes, Tiffany, I do have one. Hit me offline. Send a DM to the IG, and I'll get you a checklist on what to look out for on these tenants when they come by. Jerome said, "What is the amount of the grant for teachers and firefighters again?"
So it can go 1 to 4% of the purchase price, right? So let's just go with the max is 670. Give you guys some. So 4%, the most you'll get is 26,800. And then the lowest would be 6,700. So it all depends on where you fall, kind of what you need. But remember, the more you get, the higher the interest rate. It doesn't go up too much though, right? But there's it's a sliding scale, right? Because they're gonna try to get theirs, some kind of way, right? So, but the good thing about that is if you are in the profession and the grant is forgiven, you can go ahead and take the higher interest rate, take the money 6 to 9 months later, refi into a lower rate, and you're good, right? So that was a lot, but
Done it twice.
Yeah, there you go. See, she did it twice. Boom.
All right. So Tyron, I don't know if it's Tyron or Tyrone. I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong. Said, "I am a teacher, so would I still need to save 10 to 12,000 for a duplex?"
Yes, because even though you're going to be in the program, you still need, FHA requires for you to have a certain amount of your own money. Does that make sense? So you still want to have 10 to 12 is not, you still want to have that even for a rainy day for the duplex. But I would have to really run your numbers to really see if you need it, right? But I would suggest you have at least that, even if, because you're going to step into, like I said, repairs, improvements, etc. Right? So nobody wants to go and buy any property with just no money. I don't want to clean your bank account and you got nothing, because you're gonna need some money, right, to take care of that property. That's for sure. So
that's definitely accurate. Monique has a good question before we get to it though. Just to piggyback on top of that, you want to trust me. You want to have as much in reserves as you can when it comes down to having these properties, because your reserves are going to save you. You know, when you get that call that you weren't expecting, and trust me, stuff is always going wrong. You got to have those reserves to tap into. You know, you don't want to be out there on a wing and a prayer hoping that nothing goes wrong, that you'll have time to save money, because it usually doesn't go that way. So once you get past the amount that you need to actually get in the property, I would advise you to keep stacking just a little while longer, just so you have a little bit of a cushion for stuff that could come up. Monique said, what is the process if both units are occupied and one needs to be owner occupied?
So before we even write it's a good question because it happens in real life. So what we have to do is wait for it to be vacated. So the escrow right now, both of those units right now are occupied. One person's paying $560 because he's been there for 40 years. He's like 80 something years old. All right. The other tenant is paying like $800, right? And so what we had to do is, I think the owners had the property on the market for a long time, because it's hard to sell it owner occupied, especially with both like that. So he negotiated with so this is on the current owner. He negotiated with the tenants. It's going to be 100% vacated, but we just had to have a longer escrow, right? So we have a 60-day escrow. It'll close at the end of January, because that's when the tenants are moving out, right? So in that case, we'll have to negotiate it. It's super great and rare that she's gonna have both units vacant, because now she can come in, do what she wants, and charge market rent. It's great. Most of the time, they just negotiate with the one. All right, so that's what would happen. So even before we even see it, before we even write an offer, before we even get our hopes up, I'm gonna have a conversation with the agent who's listing it. And I'm gonna say, is there a possibility for one of these? Because we go on FHA. People in my industry already knows what that means. They already know FHA means owner occupied. So they're gonna say, nope, we can't vacate, they're not leaving. And then it's off the board. But I'll tell you, what, that one, we can't see that one. So that's kind of how that goes. So it can be negotiated, but if not, then we got to move on to the next one.
Okay, Shay kind of has a piggyback question on that, where she asks, is it better to buy completely vacant or something that already has tenants in?
Depends on what that tenant rent is. So like I just told you, you don't want a tenant I just talked about who's paying $660. I mean, that's not cool, right? That rent should easily be $1,500, but because the tenant's been there so long, that's different, right? If you want to go the route of government, like he just said, that's a guaranteed payment. No matter what happens, every first of the month, you may want it to be vacant. So it depends. You got to have a plan. So we'll talk about your plan. Like, what do you envision? What do you want to do? It all depends on kind of what you're trying to do with the actual property. My client's going to take it. It's vacant. She's going to revamp it the way she wants to do it. She's going to paint it, get new carpet, and rent it out for market rent, right? So, some people may want to move a family member in. I don't suggest it, but hey, people want to do that, right? So, it's just kind of what is your plan? You need a personalized plan, and that's what will help you get. So.
Okay. Edward had a good question too. He said, Can you qualify if you have back taxes, even if it's on a payment plan?
Yep, we're just going to use that payment against your debt. We're going to take care of the I, the R, the S. We're not going to leave them out. So yes, that debt will be factored into it, but it doesn't stop you from buying, but we're going to have to, factor that payment in.
Linda is hilarious. She said, can I purchase this with Satoshis? You know what you're talking about?
With some what? Is that an NFT or some crypto or something?
It's Bitcoin.
I'm not even there yet. You know what? I got to educate myself on that, y'all. Come on, Linda. You let me know. We're going to learn together. Okay, Linda? We're going to talk. I'm going to research it. But apparently you can't. That's what I'm hearing.
So have you seen anybody be able to close in Bitcoin on anything yet?
I heard somebody, but I haven't done it myself. Yeah, I've heard of it happening.
Yep, Danny, you got to get up on it. They doing leasing token notes in hotels. Come on, Danny. Come on.
Hey, Linda, all I'm doing is dollar cost average, and I'm not even. I ain't even thinking about spending. So how I can spend is irrelevant at this point.
I'm learning about it though. I am because it definitely is coming.
On your Satoshis.
It's
You can take a
super
loan
far
out
and
and
few in
so-
between, but it's coming. It's definitely coming. Does married make you stronger? Well, you know what? You're gonna have two incomes, but you're also gonna have two credits and two debts, two people, right? So we're gonna take all your debts, both of you guys' debt together, but you'll have more income. So you have way more purchasing power, right? But we're gonna take, so when you have two people, I think up to 10 people can go on a loan, FYI, all right? But two people, we're gonna take the lowest middle score. Does that make sense? So if it's 800, 816, 720, hope I remember these scores, 650, 630, 610, I'm going 630. That's what your rate and everything is going to be based on, because that was the lowest middle score of what I just named. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, that's how it works.
Zakaya said, how long would you have to wait before trying to purchase after a bankruptcy?
What type? It's always so many questions. I know it's either chapter 7, chapter 13. Believe chapter 7 is 2 years, chapter 13 is 4 years.
Okay. Himon Shu said, how should I decide the price range house I should get?
Oh, you don't decide that. So when we go through that, it depends on what you qualify for, right? So you have to get pre-qualified. So we're going to tell you what you can afford. That's how that works.
Got it.
What bureau do you take the score from? Just whatever the middle one comes, whatever it's not really the bureau, it's the score. It's score driven. So whichever the middle score is.
Let's see. Michael said, is it better to house hack by starting with a fourplex? That's actually a good question, because what do you think about that? Somebody starting with something bigger than a duplex on their first one.
The thing is, when you go over 2 units, it's gonna you have to qualify differently. So you have to be self-sufficient without tenants. Does that make sense? If I go into that, it's gonna be a whole nother, but in other words, if you keep it, it's okay for 2 to just use that one income and it can be added to your income. But it doesn't quite work that way when you add on the 3 and 4, because in their minds, you're an investor, or like a real investor. That means, you got some true assets and so on and so forth. So it gets just a little bit more trickier when you get up to 3 and beyond. Right. So that's why I kind of preach, I stay at the 2. Right. So, but this program does work from 1 to 4. It does work for that. So.
Okay. Katrina said, why do we have to live in the duplex?
That's an FHA requirement. Any loan you get, any loan you do FHA, and you want to go FHA, if you go conventional, it's going to be like 20% down. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. How much would you have to put down if it was a second home, like a vacation home?
20%. Maybe 10, might be some programs with 10, but the standard is 20% on your second property. If it's not going to be your primary residence, then yeah, it'll be 20%. Now, if you say, you know what, I do own this home, but I'm going to move into the duplex, then you can still own 2 homes, but move into the duplex and still do the 3.5% down. It just has to be a good reason and a good story. So let's say the duplex is closer to your job, so it makes sense for you to live there. Let's say the duplex is bigger, the unit you're gonna move in is bigger than your current space, then that makes sense, right? It just needs to tell a story and make sense. But you can still own, 2 or multiple ones, but the one you're buying has to be the primary residence to be able to go FHA and to be able to get this down payment assistance.
Okay. Somebody asked me if this is going to be viewed again. It will be, and we're going to send out the replay tomorrow, along with Nekaya's information for the long form of this that she's going to be doing, where she's going to really get into meat and potatoes. Because tonight, what we really wanted to do was present you with the possibilities, right? That's what our job is to bring the possibility to you of something that you didn't know was possible before. Like, you didn't know maybe before tonight, oh, wow, I could actually do this, and I could buy a home a lot faster because I can use the income from my other tenant to qualify. That's what we're here to do. But when it's time to get into the details, that's where you should attend the long form and really be able to get that information. So the answer to that is yes. Tyron said, if I'm married, can I buy a duplex, my wife buy one separately, and then buy our dream house after a year with income from 4 units?
That was a lot. Okay, run it back for me.
Yeah, so he's like, if he's married, can he
Yep.
buy a duplex?
Mhm.
And then can his wife buy a duplex separately? They buy one separately.
At the
And
same
then
time, or just different time?
I'm thinking it's around the same time, but they're gonna buy them in their own names. I'm thinking separately. And then after 1 year, can they qualify with those 4 units, worth of income to get their dream home?
Well, you know what? I am saved by the bell. I just see one of my partners, my loan partners that's on here, and I'm gonna let him take that question. Mr. Milton, are you available? Did you hear that question?
That's funny.
That was a lot.
I had my hand
Out
raised for
there,
something
man.
whole different, but yeah, for sure. To answer the question, I'll explain why you can't. Because there are some states you can do that in. You just can't do that in California because California is a community property state. So whenever there's anyone that's married, you're one, right? Especially in terms of FHA. So that you can't purchase separate properties married on an FHA loan, right? And obtain 2 FHA loans at the same time if you're married. Now, if you were not married yet, you could do that and then become married. But if you're married already, you can't. That scenario doesn't work.
So even if you file taxes separately,
now, even if you file taxes separately, that would help. But the difference is when we run any female borrower's credit, it has name variations on the credit report. So if your last name used to be Johnson, but now your last name is Spikes, they're going to ask what's the variation in the last name. All of your names that you've ever went by is going to show up on your credit report. I'm telling you this because I went through it. So that's normally the way. Now, if you've never changed your name in ever, because I've had that happen where the female's never changed her name, the woman's never changed her name, her last name, then you have a better chance, right? But I will tell you, technically, this is mortgage fraud, okay? But but that would be the scenario where that could work if your last name never changed. Again, if you were doing a conventional loan, that scenario works. You could buy one married as a single property, and he can buy one as a single property, and whatever equity or that you guys gather together, you can do whatever you want with it. Conventional allows for married couples to buy properties individually. FHA you're one. So even if you went to buy a property FHA and you weren't going to add your spouse, they're still going to look at his debt. Right. So let's say if the wife wanted to go buy a property because her situation financially is a little bit better than her husband, they're going to ask, they're not going to use his credit score, but they're going to use his debts. And that's going to have to be added into her debt to income ratio because his debts are now her debts because they're married, especially in California where it's community property. So in other states that do not operate under community property, this is a different scenario. And it will be a case by case. But to answer your question, no, you can't do that. But good scenario. I mean, I like you're thinking right though.
Right. The mindset is there.
We
And you guys can catch Mr. Milton. He's on my full-blown workshop. All right. He be going in, as you can tell.
Hey,
So
Mr. Milton,
people are asking for his contact information already.
I know. They can go ahead and connect with me and I'll get you to him.
are you guys familiar with blanket mortgages, Mr. Milton?
Yeah, yes, I am. I don't personally do blanket mortgages, but yes, I'm familiar with them.
So the blanket, I hear what everybody is saying. It's amazing. These are great questions because me being an investor, I didn't bought multiple houses under one blanket mortgage, meaning I purchased 3 houses in one mortgage. And let me say this: I bought 3 houses. The mortgage is $850. Just one of the houses, I get $1,100. So that covers everything. Whereas the other, the $825 or the $725 goes in my pocket. And I have my clients also doing the same thing I'm doing. And getting back to the question as far as the husband and wife thing, I have purchased houses in my daughter's LLCs, my LLCs, my wife's name. So I diversify my portfolio doing different things, but it's amazing. A lot of our people don't know what's out there that's available to us. And I'm speaking from experience. And hey, You know, I've done 30-something years in the Marine Corps. I bought my first duplex while I lived in Okinawa, Japan, and I never even seen it. Okay, and today
Hoorah.
that house is double. It's double as far as the price. I paid what, 108? It's about 220. You know, but it's so many programs out there that we don't know about. That's why it's imperative that we have these type of meetings so we can feed off one another, learn from one another. And from a biblical standpoint, iron sharpens iron. And it's amazing. I love this kind of stuff. I do it here in Fort Worth, Texas, just where I reside. And I have my own business. And I got clients in California, Detroit, Georgia. And my big thing is buying out of state. I got clients that are living in California that owns properties in Mississippi. You know, and it's amazing. What you need to do is just look at the market, look at the market and see exactly how far your money can go. But this right here for our Black people, man, you know, I didn't know. I learned from a professor that teaches at Jackson State University that taught me about blanket mortgages. I didn't know that happened. So when I jumped on that thing, it was like a wildfire, man. That's all I do.
Yeah, as long as you have a good, decent credit and some collateral, blanket mortgage, especially if you want to do multiple investments at one time, is definitely the way to go. A lot of portfolio lenders are in that, and that's blanket mortgages are not so prevalent in California, but definitely in Texas, definitely in Georgia, lots of blanket mortgages in those southern states where the property values are a lot lower and the loan to values are a little bit lower. Because you can put down 50% on a property for $40,000. Somebody said they had $20,000 on here. So your collateral is pretty high, your loan to value is pretty low. And then, of course, those mortgage servicers for those blanket mortgages, they want to make their money on those mortgage payments that you're going to be making every month. So, yeah, absolutely, Mr. Jackie, you've built an arc of properties. It sounds like. So I love to hear it. I love the strategies.
Yeah, Mr. Robertson, there are people who are asking for your contact information in the chat. So I don't know if you'd like to drop that. You know, I know that can be a little touchy, but people would like to connect with you and learn from you if they can.
And I just want to say, oh, I'm sorry, Danny, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to shout out Robert Biggs. I appreciate you even, linking me with Danny. I appreciate Mr. Milton jumping on. Just by the way, like we are all realtors right here. This is my realtors family. If you don't know what a realtors is, we're basically Black real estate professionals that work together, as you can see, right? We put each other on, like I see in the chat, right? We work with each other. We help each other out on transactions. And I'm just very grateful to Robert. Robert is the second vice president of the local chapter. I'm the regional vice president of the entire state. And Mr. Milton was the former president of YRD, former first vice president of the state. Now he's parliamentarian on the national level for YRD. And so we are all connected and we're all Black real estate professionals and we're a part of the largest Black trade real estate association in the world. So I just want to make sure that you guys know what a realtors is. I mean, we are realtors, but a long time ago, they wouldn't allow Black people to be realtors. All right. So, I have to do it because,
it wasn't a long time.
Right.
It was within a lifetime.
Right. So I just want to make sure I shout out my realtors family for even, bringing me to the platform.
Yeah, thank you very much, Biggs. We really appreciate that. And I don't want to hold you too long because I know we were supposed to cut off at 8. We're at 8:15. So I started things a little bit late. But listen, guys, this is a tribe. This is what this is, right? We are rebuilding what we used to have as a community. And all you have to do is come here humble and willing to learn and willing to help somebody else out. And you're welcome here at any time. We don't want anything from you. We're not ever going to charge for people to be here because it's important for us to bring this information to the table so you're aware of what's going on. The world is literally changing around you. I'm going to keep saying it as you watch it change, and you're going to realize it's almost like prophecy. Cryptocurrency is here. It's not leaving. I'm telling you that now. As sure as the sky is blue, it's not leaving. Okay? Virtual reality is coming. It's not going. it's coming. That's going to be a real thing. When you talk about companies like Ford and General Motors, who built their foundation, these are American royalty, American blue blood companies who are saying, we are not going to be making gas-powered engines in 10 years. I need you to understand how groundbreaking a moment that we're having right now. They built what they are, the empires off these engines, and what they're waving the white flag and saying, hey, it's over. It's all electric from here. Everything that you used to know is literally shifting on you right now, and you have the ability to learn and to be at the head. The world is being recreated. That's why I'm trying to get you guys here. You know, with people like Nekaya, this is the reason why I want you guys to watch the Come Up series. So that way, the stock market, the mysterious stock market that we didn't want to be involved in because we didn't understand it, people like Mark and them are demystifying it and making it very easy for us to understand. So don't trick this opportunity off. Don't trick this time off, because in 10 to 15 years, either your kids and grandkids are going to be really proud of you or really disappointed in you because you wasted the time and squandered an opportunity to be able to reset the course of your family. So with that being said, Nekaya, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Yes, it was great. Thank
You
you.
guys are all
Good job.
super welcome. I appreciate the platform. I saw some of your past YouTubes and I was like, I have been missing out on this platform, but I'm locked in now. It's every month, right?
Yeah, every first Wednesday of the month. And
First
also,
Wednesday. I'm pulling up.
I got to put out a bug for anybody who can help me. I'm looking for an insurance adjuster to come in and speak to the community, because insurance adjusters are out here getting that bread, man. And this is an opportunity. I know some of you guys are like, man, look, I'm in a job where everything that I heard tonight sounds great, but I don't make enough to be able to do this yet. Well, the first thing you have to do is increase your income. You got to increase your income by increasing your skills. So, you know, we had the mobile notary course here. We have hopefully an insurance adjuster coming in. I also need somebody who specializes in trades. I'll take any trade, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, somebody who might run a trade school. I need them to come in and speak so that way we can show our people how to earn more. So then that way they'll be able to take advantage of the knowledge that we bring to the table.
I got you for that trade school instructor right here, Ted DeRusio. I got you.
Okay, Linda, I appreciate you. All right, y'all. Well, we up out of here. I think that's pretty much it. And yeah, if you have any questions, just reply to the replay email that's going out tomorrow. And Nekaya and Biggs, thank you again so much. We really appreciate it. Good start to 2022.
No, absolutely. Thank you again.
Semper
All right,
Fi,
y'all.
Marine. Check your text message.
All right, y'all. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Good night.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy New Year,
y'all.
everyone.
Good night.
This was amazing and excellent. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
No problem.
Danny, you need to hit me up.
Yes, I do. I know I do.
Danny, for that information, do I need to hit the IG page? I sent the note, or do I need to hit you up?
I saw it pop up, so yeah, I'll get to you ASAP and get you, whatever I can to help you, the list to help you screen your tenants out.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
This.
Danny, do you save the chat as well?
You know what? I think I can print the chat.
It's automatic, Danny.
Are you recording this? It automatically saves when you record it.
That's what I thought. So yeah, that's yeah. So I got the chat then. When I go back to the
You're like, I got it. Got you.
Need it?
No, actually, I thought you was about to cut it off, but I'm actually just going through it now, and I can just kind of snap. I like to get some of the quotes sometimes, so I can make
Just
some
hit
content.
the 3 dots, Nakia, and you can save the whole thing.
You know what, Linda? You teaching me everything today. Where did it
Tell
go?
you, Linda.
Oh,
Tell you, Linda. Oh, she
Recording
Oh, you know what?
available?
I just saved it. So anybody can do that. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, there it is, Danny.
Yeah.
And then you just print it out.
Listen, I got it then. There we go. You just saved me some time. I appreciate you, Linda. We got to link up because I want to know about this crypto, buying real estate with crypto.
Hey, no, Linda is cold. We had Bitcoin Zay and his partner King on, and Bitcoin Zay is one of like the foremost, one of the biggest minds, best minds in the crypto space, especially on the black side. And you know, he and Linda going back and forth, and she already knew where he was going. So yeah, so Linda definitely she's up on game for sure.
I'm here to educate our people. I'm getting on the Underground Railroad with Najee Roberts, and we taking our people to the promised land.
Listen here, I heard that. People still trying to come in? That's wild.
I think so. Yeah, we still hopping in. I'm trying to wind down. They trying to turn up.
Miss Carter, I have a question for you, Miss Carter.
Hi, Logan.
Hey, girl. So you mentioned public service workers like firefighters, police officers, right?
Yep.
Being able to go through your program. I'm curious to know if public service workers like public transportation, bus operators would qualify for that program.
No, not transportation. It's just like medical, education, firefighters, teachers, but not public transportation, unfortunately.
Okay. Is there a particular reason for that?
It's just the Gsfa program. So you can, they got a whole website, and that's just, they call it select, so that it's governed by them.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, did you also talk about your women's group thing too? The one I'm always banned from?
I mean, you're a man.
No, but you know.
Like, what do you saying like I'm banning you? Like, I didn't talk about women elevate women. I be having too much going on. I gotta stay on script. I gotta stay on, the topic.
Put that in the chat. Your women's group.
Oh, well, you know what? Once you go to that Carter investment, you're going to see my link tree and you'll see everything. And trust me, if you follow me, you'll see everything too. But I'm just hoping they don't shut me down. But it's coming February 26th. I'm hoping to come live. My fingers all the way crossed.
Okay.
So
who qualifies for the Gsfa program?
You said who?
How do you qualify for
it?
Listen, Linda's funny. Anybody can qualify. There's no income limit. So as long as you're gonna buy in LA County and the price stay under 670,000, then you can. As long as you have a 640 credit score too. So that's pretty much the qualification.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, well, you guys turned down now, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Again, Danny, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's just so funny that we happen to have the same last name, right? They're probably like, he brought his cousin up here.
Yeah, I know, right? I should have had to tell them no relation, but they get to accuse me of scamming in here. You know, this the era of the scammer, right?
Right. Super coincidental. Super.
I just have a quick question if you all can hear me.
Yeah, we hear you.
It's just my first time here. Thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to know if the recordings are accessible to us to re-listen. This is my first time on here, so I don't know how it usually works.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm going to email the recording link out tomorrow, and it'll be on our YouTube channel along with all of the other previous recordings that we've done. So you should see it pop up in your email by end of business tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for coming.
You gonna cut the recording, right? Or you gonna upload all this to YouTube?
It's all going on. We ain't cutting nothing. We ain't cutting nothing. We keeping it raw. All right, y'all. I'm out of here, man. I'm hitting this red button. I'll catch y'all in a minute.
Real quick, what's the name of your YouTube channel? What's the name of your YouTube channel?
We haven't customized the URL yet, but I'll drop it in the chat for you real quick before we hop off, so then that way you can subscribe to it. But I'll probably customize the URL tomorrow when I upload the report.
Thank you.
I had to wait for us to have enough subscribers to be able to do it.
I'm sure if you place it in the box, you have a lot of subscribers right here.
Yeah, I mean, we got up to 108 and I didn't even realize we were that high. And I just happened to hop in the email the other day and people were leaving comments and like, hey, I'm watching this for the third time. And I was like, what? Crazy. So yeah, I'm putting the link to our YouTube channel in right now. I'll leave it in here for a couple minutes or a couple seconds before I shut down. Okay, it's in there now. And yeah, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Hey, we up to 123. We're gonna be at 100,000 before we know it. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Good night.
All right.
Appreciate it, Biggs.
No problem.